else, you're my flame.
I still think that would have made an epic Bond theme, Conchita Wurst and Rise Like a Phoenix. And one of the things I loved about watching Conchita was just the absolute confidence she gave that performance that year. It was really special. That is my final Eurovision winner. And if you're in the mood for more tunes, well, I can offer you an hour of Eurovision runners-up and Eurovision celebrities too. Fun for all the family there. In fact, loads more Eurovision. Just search Eurovision on BBC Sounds. You're going to find hours of great stuff to listen to. But in the meantime, thank you so much for coming to the party.
Eurovision
on BBC Radio 2.
And this is Radio 2 on the BBC Sounds app, on your smart speaker and on 88 to 91 FM.
BBC News at 4 o'clock. This is Nikki Cardwell. Fans in Liverpool are gearing up for the final of the Eurovision Song Contest, which will get underway in a few hours' time. 26 acts will be vying for the title, with the UK's Mae Muller giving the final performance. Last year's contest was won by Ukraine. Liverpool's Cabinet Member for Culture, Harry Doyle, says they're committed to honouring the country throughout the competition.
From the very beginning, we said this was for Ukraine, and we were very clear how we wanted to represent Ukraine in this contest as well. And I hope we've managed to pull that off, and if we've done Ukraine proud, then I've done my job. But certainly the heart was there, the ambition was there, and it felt like a campaign.
President Zelensky has arrived at the Vatican for an audience with Pope Francis during a surprise visit to Rome. He earlier met the country's political leaders, including Italy's Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, who pledged her full support to Ukraine. The Department for Transport and the Rail Delivery Group, which represents train operating companies, have accused the RMT union of blocking a negotiated settlement to their dispute. They say the union's leadership has repeatedly failed to put their latest pay offer to members. The RMT, which is staging another walkout today, says it's always open to talks. Our business correspondent Mark Ashdown has been looking at the dispute.
The RMT has written to the Transport Secretary Mark Harper asking for a summit between the unions, the rail companies and the government to try and find a way through what it says has become a toxic dispute. Now, the sticking point seems to be these possible reforms to things like Sunday working and the future of some ticket offices. So if they do sit down for fresh talks, that is likely to be the main focus.
Plaid Cymru has appointed an interim leader after Adam Price stood down in the wake of a review that found a toxic culture within the party. Claire Griffith will take the helm until a new leader is selected by its members next month. In the Premier League, Leeds kept their hopes of avoiding a relegation alive by drawing 2-2 with Newcastle at Elland Road. Rasmus Christensen scored the equaliser for Leeds, who played the final minutes with 10 men. The manager Sam Allardyce says there's still room for improvement.
It is a tremendous point, considering the circumstances that we've left ourselves in, that we really shouldn't have done so. Obviously, I'd been talking most of the week from last week about staying on your feet, and we still haven't listened. And maybe that's the pressure, who knows, but certainly they're going to have to listen next week, going into next week, because we can't afford to be making rash tackles like we did today.
And a dark green loaf of bread has been crowned the best in Britain. Brioche Japonaise, which was praised by judges for its texture, is flavoured with matcha, white chocolate and fruit. The loaf's creator, Mio Euetsu, who's from Derbyshire, says it was inspired by her Japanese heritage and the time that she'd spent living in France. That's the BBC News. It's just coming up to 4 minutes past 4.
Sophie Ellis-Bextor's Kitchen Disco from Radio 2.